Cortisol does. Cortisol is the main hormone that makes the body start to store fat. And it does this because it's afraid you're going to be starving to death, is the biggest reason. Go ahead.
I have a child who is always in fight or flight. Oh,
yeah.
Everything makes him want to fight.
Yeah.
But he's gone from being a normal size a year ago to being half his size this year. Can't gain weight, can't maintain weight, doesn't sleep. Why is that off?
Well, it sounds like he is in fight or flight all the time.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's got a lot of parasites in his system. Parasites can make you anxious, they can make you panic, and keep you in a sympathetic nervous stimulation all the time. So parasites that produce that problem will make you lose weight. Now there's other parasites that produce female hormones that make you gain weight and make you produce cortisol. So it sounds like he's got parasites that are the weight loss parasites rather than the weight gain parasites.
Okay.
So there's different types of parasites, but all parasites will cause some sort of sympathetic stimulation and make people anxious or have panic attacks, fear, a lot of problems that way. Oh, my clicker's working. This is good. Okay, I put this question in there: is bioidentical hormones therapy for you? Well, number one, you've got to realize when they say bioidentical hormones, what are they talking about? Okay? It's not natural hormones. These are hormones that are produced in labs by the pharmaceutical industry. And so I don't recommend to anybody to get bioidentical hormones. But if you do go in and you get tested, they'll want to put you on those because that's what medical doctors do. They use the pharmaceutical industry and their products. So the reason I put that question up there is they're not identical to natural hormones. They're identical in the labs, but not in reality. So I don't recommend bioidentical hormones at all. What I do recommend is helping the reproductive system, clean out all the toxins that are causing the problems, all the herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, these different things, and help the neuroendocrine system to function more perfectly. I found that if you get the toxins out of your body, the heavy metals out of your body, clean out the blood vessels, clean up the parasites, the fungus, all the things that are causing the problems, that you go back to a normal endocrine flow and ebb, and it works better. So, people can get weight gain, they can have limited energy, hair loss, low sex drive, depression, mood swings, sleeplessness, poor concentration, memory loss, fatigue. Now, if you go to a medical doctor, they'll put you on an antidepressant. What does antidepressants cause? Worse impotence, worse hormones, because they don't allow the brain to produce the natural stimulators that stimulate the organs. And the organs can't be stimulated anyway because they're all toxic. And when you take these antidepressants, they actually can alter the brain to the point where you don't get stimulation at all in your thoughts. And so it can make it so there's erectile dysfunction and all kinds of stuff. A lot of them put people on, for the sleeplessness, they put them on Ambien. There's several drugs that cause, and these all can cause problems with the sex hormones. Poor concentration. They'll put you on a stimulant, drugs for ADD and different things when you have poor concentration. They're treating a lot of adults for ADD and different things. They found that amphetamines stimulate the sexual system. It's quite interesting. But they eventually tox it up to the point where they don't function. So they'll be hyper for a while, and then all of a sudden they lose it. Memory loss. Aricept came out. They're using it a lot with Alzheimer's and different people. That also causes sexual dysfunction.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Aricept in particular, when they put my mother on her memory got better.
Yes.
But she's been on it now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and they just recently took her off.
Yes.
Why would, I mean, sex drives her. She's 85 years old. That's it.
Right, right. So you don't have to worry about that. But it does cause dysfunction,
So
especially in men.
Why would they take her off of that?
Probably because of, there's,
Weapons or something?
after you've been on it for a while, it stops working. Because it wears out the receptor sites. You know, it's like Prozac. I had a guy who took Prozac for 10 years, wanted to get off of it. We tried every herb, everything to get him off of Prozac, and he actually had to take more and more and more. He was up to 80 milligrams of Prozac, and it worked really well for his depression, but he had to increase the doses, and when we tried to take him off of it, he just became a vegetable. And so we had to put him back on it, because some people adapt to these drugs, and without it, it destroyed the receptor sites, and so he just couldn't function without it. So we ended up just keeping him on the Prozac. But he was at much higher doses. I would imagine by now, it's been 10 years later, he's up to 160 milligrams, which is highly expensive too. Thank goodness it came out with a generic. The weight gain, they found that testosterone will replace fat with muscle tissue, and so it is a good thing to do. You see all these people out there running. You know, running's become huge because it keeps the weight down, it keeps people from having neuralgia, and it, believe it or not, it helps the receptor sites for pain control, and people who run actually feel better when they've ran because they have all of these beneficial effects through the neuroendocrine system. And a lot of it is due to they have better energy, and it helps the adrenal glands work better, it helps the kidneys work better, and the kidneys and adrenals are the center of chi, or energy in the body. And so running is actually very good in those ways. The biggest problem with running is it does wear out the joints eventually. And so you know, it's good for helping the hormones, and it's better than riding a bike for men. So anyway, okay, the hair loss problem, that's a big deal, and most men with male pattern baldness, it's due to they have plenty of testosterone, but they have a enzyme that converts it to dihydrotestosterone, and the 5-alpha reductase is the one that does that. Now, if I would have started taking soft palmetto when I started going bald, I probably wouldn't have gone bald, because soft palmetto actually keeps testosterone from converting. Go ahead.
The thing about it seems to follow in families, especially in the mother.
Yes.
That goes back. So what is there about inheritance, or is it?
It is an inheritance because they have more of this 5-alpha reductase that changes the
That just
testosterone
keeps coming down.
into dihydrotestosterone. And so, you know, taking soft palmetto is very beneficial if you can catch it before you lose the hair. Because once you've lost it,
That have that in the family should start about 16.
yeah, they should start about 16 years old,
That's
literally. So it's kind of interesting.
So if you've already lost your hair, there's no hope?
I've done a lot of stuff, and I haven't lost any more since I started doing that, but I haven't regained any hair, which kind of sucks. Now,
would soft palmetto do anything for female hair loss?
yes, absolutely. And a lot of women are taking soft palmetto. So it works good, and it actually keeps the estrogen from breaking down also. So it's interesting.
If your hair loss is from heavy metals, will soft palmetto help you?
Not really. You got to get rid of the heavy metals. And they found petrochemicals.
Yeah.
You know, the herbicides, pesticides, you know, all of those things are causing problems with men's hair and hair loss also. So, you know, getting the toxins and the heavy metals out of your body is extremely important. And the problem we're having is we're living in a world that's so highly toxic that you have to be very aware all the time. Like I've done this detoxification program 3 times in the last 3 years, and I felt like I need to do another one. So it's one of those things that we need to not take in the toxins, number one. So wash off your food, clean up your water. There's not a lot we can do about the air except in our houses we can, you know, use cleaning machines for the air. And I like the ones that have ozone and ionizers and filters for the air, because our air is toxic even now. And
will that detoxer work on heavy metal poisoning? My grandson went to the hospital 4 years ago, and he almost was dead from sepsis.
yes,
And he was in the hospital for a month, and he had gorgeous, thick, and he's only 22, he was 22 and a half, and he's lost just more than half of his hair, and is still losing. I mean,
yeah.
I don't-
The chemicals they gave him, keeping him alive, actually probably caused the hair loss.
So will that detox work?
The detox would help, yes. But once you've lost your hair, especially in a male, it's pretty hard to get it to come back. I have had other people have better success. Now, I've got male pattern baldness in my family. So, you know, it was inherited from my mother. And, you know, too much of that 5-alpha reductase enzyme.
How about your boys?
And luckily, through their mother, her side of the family doesn't go bald, which is good. So they're lucky from the mother they had. But my mother actually, you know, the men in her family all went bald. So you know, it's one of those conditions. Plus, when you get adrenal fatigue, the cortisol can make you lose hair. So taking care of your adrenal glands, taking care of your thyroid gland, metabolic syndrome, which is an autoimmune thing that affects the testes, the thyroid, and the pituitary, and in women, the ovaries, the thyroid, and the pituitary. All of these need to be addressed. I also, in the last 5 years, they've found a lot of information that if your immune system's being suppressed, it can make you lose your hair. So if you're taking drugs that suppress the immune system, and they're highly prevalent right now. I can't believe people go in and have these infusions of chemicals to suppress their immune system for their arthritis. You know, and on TV they you know, they say, oh, this may cause this and this and this and this, including death. And you look at it and you go, no, why would I do that?
Yeah.
You know?
And they do.
But what I found is helping the thymus work better helps with hair loss. So helping your immune system. So doing the thymic thump, or taking you know, the Thymusure or the GT thymus. I had a guy who called me up. He was 26 years old, losing his hair. He just started, and he called me up and asked me what he should do, and I got really strong. We needed to treat his thymus gland and thyroid. So we treated his thyroid and thymus, and he stopped losing hair, which was great. He loved it because he didn't become more bald. So thymus should be considered to help the immune system. Now, if you think about it, a lot of autoimmune stuff not only attacks our joints, but it attacks our organs. And the testes and ovaries are not, you know, they get attacked too. And so there's a lot of autoimmune things that are causing the testes to dysfunction and the ovaries to dysfunction. Women are going through menopause earlier now. When I was an OBGYN, the average was 51.2 years. Now it's down to 48 years old, which means women are going through menopause earlier. And a lot of this is the petrochemicals and all of the estrogen mimickers and different things. So treating these things is very important. A lot of us are having thyroid problems because of Fukushima, which is the Japanese nuclear plant that melted down and is still spewing out radiation. And so men and women should take supplements for their thyroid and iodine, because it's the radioactive iodine that gets into the thyroid and starts destroying it. It's attracted to the thyroid, and what we have to do is take more good thyroid to push it out of our thyroid. So I've been putting a lot of people on iodine and using different thyroid supplements to help the thyroid regenerate. I don't like people going on thyroid unless their thyroid is totally dysfunctional. And a lot of us, our thyroids are dysfunctional. I've always had warm hands, warm feet, which is a sign of good metabolism, a good thyroid. Well, recently I've experienced cold hands and cold feet, which is one of the first signs of getting thyroid problems. And so I've had to put myself on thyroid regenerative stuff, and now my hands and feet are warm again. So we have to watch these things. Adrenal fatigue is probably the biggest problem because of all the stress we're under. Environmental stresses, I mean everything causes stress to the body. The toxins, the heavy metals, the environment, the EMFs, the news. I was told 20 years ago, don't even watch the news, because it's highly agitating, because there's so much crap going on. And so all of it causes adrenal fatigue. And so helping your adrenal glands is so vital for your hormones and your body's stability. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the cortisol thing because it's so important. The Relora is really good. L-glutamine, I was reading yesterday, helps. We're out of glutamine. Different amino acids so we can create the proteins we need is very important for all of the adrenal function, the thyroid function. Tyrosine, L-tyrosine is the precursor to T2, T3, T4, which is the thyroid hormones. So, and Roundup makes it so we don't. They used to call amino acids essential amino acids and regular amino acids. The essential ones were ones we needed to get in our diet. And if we didn't get them in our diet, we'd have different problems, especially glandular problems. What they're finding with the Roundup is it makes it so you can't aromatize. It kills the aromatase enzyme that helps you make serotonin, melatonin, tyrosine, glutamine, all of these different amino acids. And some of these amino acids, we just produce them naturally in our body, but the Roundup's making it so we don't. And so they've become essential, which means we got to get them in the form of the correct amino acid. And it's made it so all of these aromatase amino acids have become essential. We got to get them in our diet now. And there's not a lot of things that have these in foods, and so we have to eat a better variety of foods or take supplements to get them, which is amazing because our bodies used to just make them, and now with all these chemicals we're not making them anymore because we can't. And so that's the other reason why we're getting all of these new diseases, is because the environmental poisons are causing different diseases that we've never seen before. So it's important to clean out your body out of these chemicals, especially the Roundup. And they're spraying, I think last I heard, they started spraying when they harvest because it kills the plants off, even the ones resistant to Roundup. And they just use higher concentrations. It kills the plants off, so it's easier to harvest. And in my brain, I'm going, wait a minute. These are going on the harvest as food, And they're coming, and what's interesting, they're building, last time I was in Fairfield, Iowa, I go there and I am detoxing a lot of people. And when I went there last time, they're building a huge silo, and they found the dust coming off of the grains has been sprayed so much, breathing the particulates from the dust is causing severe reactions in the people in that community. And, so it's like,
Wake up.
wake up, people. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. These are some of the things they do when they look at things for hormone replacement. They do a comprehensive review of symptoms, medical, family, and personal history. They test your saliva, urine, and do blood laboratory analysis. They call it natural hormone balancing, but they use the bioidenticals, which are not natural hormones. Ongoing evaluations, quality compound and pharmacy, highest quality supplements, fitness programs, nutrition planning, stress reduction plans, but nowhere in here are they actually detoxing people. This is the medical paradigm, okay? And it costs a crap load of money to the insurance coverage, and a lot of it isn't covered by insurance. Now that the Obama plan is in, they're only doing necessary things, and so they're making the doctors actually not be able to do a lot of this hormone therapy, because it's only, whatever you need to survive. And what I found is this is so highly complex and expensive that it's easier to go to an intuitive, either a naturopathic doctor or somebody who's intuitive, because they don't need to do all this stuff. They can just go, okay, you got heavy metals. And so doing this entire evaluation is almost $10,000. And that's just the first little while. And you can detox your body, do a 90-day detox for about $900. Now it sounds like a lot, but 900 versus 10,000. I mean, that's helping your whole body get toxins out. And so I highly recommend to people to do the detoxification program, because it will remove all these artificial hormones, pesticides, herbicides, and plastics. First time I did it, I had a ball of plastic come out of me, and that's a whole other story, but it's out of my system. I was drinking bottled water through the entire 90s, and I still drink bottled water, plastic. And so that's why I'm saying we need to continually get these things out of our system. They're convenient, and if you drink regular water, you're getting the chlorine, fluoride, and all the chemicals they don't take out. And
So you actually get some of the plastic out of the plastic bottle?
oh yeah, yeah. They found that out back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, I know they won't tell you anything.
I learned about it, but then they did studies that showed the plastics. They actually didn't find the hormonal effects of the plastics until the late 90s, early 2000s. And so, when I was drinking bottled water, I didn't realize all the plastics that were getting into my system, especially the different types of the more flexible plastics are the ones that actually produce more problem. And so they started rating the plastics. I don't know if you remember when that was going on. But so I changed my plastic bottles, and now I drink the Pellegrino because it's in a bottle, glass bottled water. So I've kind of switched over to that because it's been shown to be the least toxic. But you have to carry around a bottle of water with you, And it was interesting when we went through the phase of Hugh Lin, who did Ho'oponopono. He said to put it in a blue bottle and set it in the sun because it would energize the water with good energy. And so we started doing that, and that was an actually blue bottle, but you had to buy blue bottles in order to have that happen. So, there's a lot of things you can do, and I advocate doing everything you can to detox your body because it's helpful.
You can bless it.
Yeah, blessing is probably the best thing you can do because, Jesus taught that if you bless whatever, and even if it's poison, it won't harm you. So definitely bless your food, bless your water, bless the air you're breathing. All of those things are extremely helpful and good, and it's one of those things that we just have to keep doing. Now, replacement of male hormones. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because one of the things they found is tribulus is one of the best things, and there's a couple of different types of tribulus, and a couple of them come from snails, and they found these snails produce these products that if males will eat snails, particularly this Murus tribulus, it increases testosterone naturally. And they used to call snails aphrodisiacs and oysters aphrodisiacs because they have these substances in. So I recommend to people to get those type of things. No, we used to have male hormones.
They're down here, sir.
Where are they now?
Down here.
Okay.
No, look at the top.
So, there's a lot of different things. There's the goats used to eat this weed, and they called it horny goat weed because they'd become more active. So there's actually one called horny goat weed
What's
that
the weed?
helps.
Now, does that have tribulus in it or not? The weed?
The horny goat weed is actually called Epimedium sagittalium, and they do put some maca in here. Maca has been found to help hormone production. So the people up in the Andes Mountains, they eat a lot of maca, and they don't have a lot of problems, and they don't have a lot of toxicity in the southern hemisphere so far, although Argentina has become highly industrialized, and they're having more problems with Roundup than any of us because they've highly sprayed their whole country with that
They're
stuff.
more European than they are South American type people.
Yeah, but Argentina, literally Monsanto went in there and they convinced them these things were good, and so they way overutilized it, and their whole country is having genetic problems. They're having higher than ever, arthritis problems, and a lot of infertility and ED problems. Now, some of the other things they found, besides maca and the snail extract and the horny goat weed, is helping with sugar levels has been shown to be really good. So things like gynema and forscoli and these different things will help with male endocrine problems and female endocrine problems. Ginseng has been shown to be highly beneficial, and they found the Korean ginseng is probably the best for reproductive problems.
It's also more expensive by like 5
Yeah.
degrees.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. All of them have gone, since I've been doing herbs, these used to be really inexpensive products, and they have gone up 10 times.
It just seems like $150 a pound for the,
Oh.
for the lower one.
Yeah, for the
Like
lower
3 times
end
that.
stuff. They found in man zinc is so important. They'll chew up a lot of zinc. The prostate gland chews up a lot of zinc. And if you're having prostate problems, taking zinc really helps. Another thing they found is the pygeum and saw palmetto is very beneficial. This extreme testosterone, it has the horny goat weed. There's a lonjac herb that helps also. It's got the saw palmetto. It's got the wild yam extract. They've actually found wild yam is not only good for women, but it's good for men.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it true that wild yam makes the hormone in either sex pick up the right one it's supposed to
Yes.
do?
Yeah, if a woman takes it, she makes more estrogen and progesterone. If
But
a man
good
takes it,
estrogen.
yes. If a man takes it, it makes more progesterone and testosterone. And they found progesterone's actually good in man and female, male and female. The other things that are in it, sarsaparilla, or the stuff they used to make root beer out of, is very good for male hormone production. Nettle leaf, which causes decreased inflammation in many things, but nettle leaf has been found to be really good. Another good thing is oat straw in men has been shown to be very beneficial. Another thing that really helps in celery seed is very beneficial for men. The arrow is really good.
Yarrow?
Thero
Oh, okay.
is really good. The other one they found, bladder wax, helps with the prostate and bladder. The nettle's really good. Antivirals are real important. Parsley helps. The salt palmetto. They found if you're in a sympathetic mode too much, skullcap is really good because it'll pull you out of that sympathetic stimulation all the time. Slippery elm is very good for the gut to calm down and good for parasympathetic stimulation. The wild oat straw is really good. Anything that helps the digestion work better, like yarrow and chamomile and catnip and all these things. Ashwagandha has been found to be really good. So yeah, it's fascinating. And if you've got inflammation, take things to reduce that inflammation. Vitamin C, bromelain, boswellia, curcumin, different things that reduce inflammation. Ginger, the turmeric. They're all really good. Enzymes are really good to take. So depending on what's going on in your body, and that's why I say go to intuitive, because if you test things, I found the testing doesn't normally show what's really going on and what's really the problem. But if people intuit what's going on in your body and put you on a program, I found it to be very effective. I quit doing testing because my intuition was better than the testing, and that's why and it's cheaper. And plus, any of the herbs you take, actually helping any part of your body will help the body as a whole. And so that's why I really like herbs, is because they do. Like if I give you something for your kidney, what's it going to do to you? It's going to help your kidney. And helping your kidneys will help clean out your body and help the urine better and help the bladder work better. And so even if I'm dead wrong with my intuition, it's still going to help you. But the thing is, the intuition is very accurate. Go ahead.
Well, all these that you've listed are all ones that I'm taking. And I'm thinking, if they're good for me, they must be good for him too.
Yes.
How do you get a stubborn stinker to take it? I'm not taking stuff just to be taken. I'm like...
It's interesting. My son is a biochemist. And you think you can get a biochemist to take herbs. But when I get to his logical side and I show him what's going on, he'll go, oh yeah, Dad, maybe that is good. So he's actually coming around, and he's a professor teaching chemistry at college, and he's seen me go through what I've gone through and the cancer and everything, and when they get desperate, they go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's...
And when they go to the doctor and they don't get any success, he finally calls me up and asks me, Dad, what do you do? And I tell him what I think. But it's hard in a scientific-based society, and our Western society is so science-oriented because we've been, taught it from kindergarten, that it's difficult to bring them to embrace natural stuff until they've hit rock bottom.
Well, he's not scientific. He's just belligerent. So what do you give him for... what do you give him for belligerence?
Some of that belligerence is all the parasites not wanting to get out of his body. But I would, he'll hit rock bottom and then he'll sometime be open. I had to get cancer to convert me. I had stage 4 cancer, and the doctor said there was nothing they could do, so I had to look for something else because there was nothing they could do. And I found the parasite cleansing, the chelation therapy, all the things I did worked, and it made me go, wait a minute, why didn't I learn this in medical school? And when you ask yourself these questions, you go, okay, it's all about money. And it is. It's all about money. It's a whole system that was designed to engulf you in this system of chemicals, and to use them and to create more. It's a whole thing.
They can't pretty well patent plants. I mean, really look what cannabis does for so many things.
Yeah.
It grows freely. They
it's
can't,
totally illegal.
They can't patent that.
Except in Colorado, and I guess Oregon's going to work on it. But it's interesting. Herbs work, and they're natural. They carry vitality from the sun and the plants, and the plants just are amazing. And the whole kingdom of plants was put here to sustain us and to feed us and to clean up our bodies and help us. And so once I found that out, it's been pretty cool. And that's why I do herbs now, is I just believe in them. And I think that without them, I would have died at the age of 20, which was a long time ago, 28 years. So I'm very grateful for the herbs, and that's why I teach about them, I use them, and I found them to be very effective. And thank you for coming to the lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it didn't get too graphic for anybody. Human reproduction has been like it's a mystical thing, and
It is.
and luckily I had good training in it, and worked under Masters and Johnson. It's interesting if you look at Masters and Johnson, they used prostitutes when they were initially doing studies with human reproduction.
Really?
Which to me is not a natural, necessary sexual experience. However, they did garner a lot of knowledge from it. And they came to our medical school and they'd show us these graphic pictures, and me being a dyed-in-the-wool Mormon at the time, it was hard for me to even, see what was going on, because I'd cover my eyes, and so it was a fascinating thing, but I did need to learn about it, and I did need to study it because I was going into OBGYN, and we got a lot of good knowledge. In fact, our clinic, when I was a resident at Good Sam down there, took care of all of the prostitutes, and they had to come in for every month and get an exam and make sure they were clean, because prostitution wasn't necessarily illegal in Arizona, which was fascinating.
Well, even back when I was in school in the 50s, in California, certain doctors under the table, I worked for one that we did some of those clean tests.
Yeah, and you just had to, the government did their best to make sure they were clean and not causing reproductive problems throughout the population, because a lot of the STDs made people go infertile and different problems. So it was good education, and I look back at it and I go, wow, that was interesting. But anyway, thank you for coming today, and God bless you. If you have personal questions or whatever, get a hold of me now.
Oh, good.
I think I turned the one off, so I need to turn that one off.